Let's ruin our lives.
Getting pissed at high tides, chewing up like cyanide. Please don't revive. Let's ruin our lives. Some pills in acid, nails in my casket. That sounds romantic. To just ruin our lives.
それじゃあビデオ見てもらいます。寝んなよ。
Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Ruin Our Lives. Today we're going to mix it up a bit and we're going to talk about recovery. I am joined today by Gregorio Lewis, author of such books as Sanity is a Full-Time Job, Punk Rockers in Recovery, Better Days, the Craig Lewis Guide to Surviving the Impossible, the Harm Reduction Guide for Psychological Trauma Survivors, and many other books on recovery. Thank you so much for joining today, Gregorio. How are you doing?
Thanks so much for having me, my brother. I'm doing pretty good today. Thank you. How are you?
Excellent.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, still kind of a little groggy, but I'm all right. So yeah, we'll just get right into it. Let's start at the beginning, I guess. Where are you from? And let's go from there.
Thanks so much for this opportunity to share.
Thanks for coming on.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I spent almost my whole life living in Massachusetts, and last city I lived in the States was Salem. I left the country in 2018 because growing up in Massachusetts was growing up at the scene of the crimes of my life. And what do I mean? I mean that my parents were not very nice people. And they had money and they had secrets. And I was one of their secrets. Okay. And they treated me really badly in such a way that behind closed doors, they were one way. And out in public with everyone else, they were different. Which is sort of a big phenomenon these days. Everyone's talking about this sort of behavioral problems. If you look on YouTube, there's like hundreds of people talking about narcissism and psychopathy. But like I lived a very abusive life. I was the recipient of something severe. And because my parents had some money, they used that money to shut me up. And they succeeded by seeking out alleged mental health providers to try to find something wrong with me.
Oh, geez.
Which they couldn't.
Yeah.
And so they then had to threaten a doctor to give me a diagnosis I did not have, and that's what they did. And then the doctor gave me a false diagnosis. I'm not saying misdiagnosis as in they just didn't interpret my behaviors correctly. That's not, that would be an intro to say. It was no misdiagnosis. It was an intentionally false diagnosis for the purpose of silencing a child. And it can be compared to what would happen, say, for example, in the Soviet Union, when they would have dissidents, they would find something wrong with them. They would say, you're crazy. They would do them, and then they'd lock them up. Then that's how they would keep people from speaking up and causing problems. My parents did the same thing to me, the very same thing. And there should be no confusion that there's something different about what they did to me and what powerful entities do to silence people. It's the same thing. I spent almost my entire life up until age 42, I should say from like age 14 to 42, living with fraudulent, fake, false diagnoses, and then the drugs that they gave me to keep me docile and to keep me from speaking out and being taken seriously. And then like throughout that whole time period from like 18 to like 42, I was like active in the punk scene. I mean, like in different ways, right? But for many of those years, I booked shows and I played in bands and did a fanzine, and I was fairly well known. I was also fairly well known for being like crazy, and I didn't realize that like my problems were induced. And it's really hard to like have the same face and the same name and like the same voice, and to try to tell people, hey, it wasn't me, but when I was 18 years old.
Right,
That wasn't me when I was 25. That wasn't me when I was 36. That experience you had with me was an experience with somebody who was on drugs, not by choosing either. Not like going behind the the school and smoking weed or drinking
Right.
down by the tracks. No, I was made sick by pharmaceutical drugs. It was against my will.
Right.
I wasn't aware of it, and I became exactly what they said that I was. It's very strange, but it's real. So I just I fought my way through everything, fought my way for a better life, did everything I could to figure out how to be better, and ultimately I found out that I was actually I hate to say these words, but like I was a victim of severe child abuse,
Right. Right.
and it was covered. It was documented that it was being covered up. It was documented that it was happening. My parents paid money. It's the thing they did.
That's terrible.
It happens. I mean, in the United States right now. Look at how things are happening. Look at what's all over the media. Cover-ups, like bribes,
Wow.
discrediting. This is like what you guys are experiencing right now. Is like that's what I lived through my whole life.
Right.
And
Right.
that's why I left. So in 2013, when I discovered that I was indeed a documented child abuse survivor, meaning I got my official documents from the state. That's how I found out. I
Yeah.
found out that the state knew that I was a documented child abuse survivor, and they were culpable as well.
Right.
They were
Of
culpable.
course.
So
Yeah.
I got myself off all the drugs. I had the diagnoses removed. I could prove that I was a child victim. I could prove that the drugs were given to me to silence me. I could prove that I never had the diagnosis that I was treated for. And because I could prove it in like official legal documents, I was able to get myself free of something that if I couldn't have proved it, I'd probably be sitting there in Massachusetts right now, miserable, or on the side of the road, or in
Right,
jail, or in
right.
hospital. So I escaped in January 2018. I said goodbye to my beloved Max the cat. I never said
Oh no.
goodbye to my friend.
Yeah.
Left all my stuff, and I fled to Europe. And I spent a year and a half running around trying to find my way and going to dozens of countries, just trying to tell my story and try to create a new life and try to create a new reality, because my whole entire existence back in the States was like I was a sick person. I was a person with a mental health problem. I was
Right.
this, I was that, I was crazy. No, I was a person who was drugged into debilitation. I was a person who was drugged and stigmatized into sickness. And I liberated myself from that. And my family and others did not want that story coming out. For example, it's my story is really against the mental health paradigm that go to your doctor, do what you're told, and then you'll have a chance to be better. Well, that's what
Right.
I did. And I did what they said. I got ruined for it. So then I said, okay, I'm going to do the opposite. And then I became me. Yeah, there's a lot of consequences that a person has to pay to get away from a family who is determined to have you labeled as a sick person, to get away from a mental health system that is determined to say, yes, you should do all these things to make sure you're mentally healthy, but you have to do it our way.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You do it any other way, you go through any other process, we don't want you. So just to wrap this all up, I had a career where I was also working as a mental health worker, a person with lived experience. I had 10 years of working in different programs in places around Massachusetts. And like I was sharing a minute ago, I could prove that I was a child abuse survivor, and the way I could prove it was because I got my documents from the state,
Right.
and I worked for the state, meaning that
Right. Yeah.
when I was a teenager, the state was culpable of me being abused as a child, and then as a grown adult, they were also my employer.
That is
Meaning that
wild. Yeah.
you either shut your mouth and live with it, or and remain sick, all those toxic, poisonous things inside you, which then manifest into all sorts of other problems, or you get away. So I got away. I paid consequences. I suffered freedom, for liberty, for a chance to have a safety and security. I'm still struggling with it. I'm still struggling even in this moment, and I'm trying very, very hard to be okay. So here we are. I'm alive.
All right.
That's-
Well, I'm glad to hear that part.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
here we are.
No, it's very brave of you to share your story. Can I ask what that diagnosis was that was forced on you?
I know it's fine. The thing is that people like to use these kind of things to to attack you. So it's like 35 years later, they still want to say, "Oh, but you when you were this age, did blah, blah, blah." Say, "Shut the fuck up." Excuse me. I don't know if I can swear in your show. Shut the f up. I'll say it that way. Yeah, I was given a lot of diagnoses. From the very beginning, they said I had schizophrenia, then I had schizoaffective disorder, then I had bipolar disorder, then I had this problem, then I had that problem.
Yeah.
Well, guess what my medical records say? Debunked.
Wow.
I'm not the one who wrote it. The person who wrote debunked.
Yeah.
It's an MD about the name. So I'm going to, I want to say it's hard to trust doctors when you had the experience that I had.
Sure.
Thankfully, I am free of that. And that's what it says.
Thank God.
It says debunked.
Did anything happen to the doctor that gave you those diagnoses? Because
Nothing.
That's like malpractice, right? Oh, that's a shame. Yeah.
Like, let's put it this way. Psychiatry is the only medical profession that gets protested.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's very true. I guess I never really thought about it that way, but that's definitely
you
true.
don't see people outside the psychiatrist's office. You don't see people protesting outside the optometrist's office.
Right.
You don't see people protesting outside of the primary care doctor's office.
True.
But you see people, if you look online.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's
Yeah.
saying I was hurt by this sort of doctor.
So
really no justice.
Do you think that has so much to do with like pharmaceuticals because they get so much money and kickbacks from the pharmaceutical industry that's why they sort of mislabel and misdiagnose people on purpose? Like it's all about cash, or do you think there might be some sort of like pathological reason on a lot of their end, sort of like a masochistic instinct?
Both. I can. The truth is, there are good and bad people everywhere.
Yes.
And there are good people and bad people in every profession.
Sure.
And answer to your question, because you asked, like, which is it? It's both.
It's both, yeah.
There's a lot of money in keeping people sick. A lot of money in it. And the second part is, yeah, I met some really sick people.
Yeah.
And they are sick. They are sick. Just like there are people who are sick in every profession and every walk of life in the world. But I also met some good people, and the fact that I'm able to be, drug-free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not taking any pills. In fact, I should say that sometimes I take something I bought at the pharmacy, because here where I live, you can just buy things at the pharmacy, not like in the States.
Right.
You need a prescription.
Yeah.
And then be fully transparent. Sometimes I take something for anxiety because it helps me feel better.
Yeah.
But it's really low level. It's like, I don't have to. I don't need to.
Right.
I do if I feel like it's going to benefit me.
I get that, yeah.
But I mean, the fact is, I met many doctors as well who tried to see me as a human being. Mm-hmm. And once I was able to prove that something happened to me, wish I could prove that I was given those drugs and those diagnoses, hurt me. I mean, this is like on record. They knew. They knew when I was a kid this was happening. They knew. So when you have doctors back then documenting that, they know you're being abused. And then they lock your case file up for like 30 years. Then you get your case file back and you see that they knew you were being abused. That gave me the opportunity to say to the other doctors I had at that point in time, look, this is what they said.
Right.
Please help me. And that's what they did. So there are some good people out there too.
Yeah, of course. So are you getting superior healthcare in Mexico? I would assume so.
I would say right now, I'm a walking miracle. I have no idea how I'm okay. I have no idea how I'm alive. I have no idea how I'm not dead. It's much less expensive here. I did have I did have an abscess a couple years ago, and it got really bad. And the doctor, I went to the local clinic here. I live in a small town, so there's no hospital here. There's like no fire trucks or anything like that. It's a really small place with bricks on the road.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of stuff that you'd have in a regular city.
Okay.
And I went to the first level healthcare clinic that we have in the town, the lowest level, and they saved my life. They knew that I was a foreigner, obviously.
Right.
They didn't charge me for anything. I had daily treatment for 30 days. Sometimes I had to go to the pharmacy to buy the supplies, and I pay for the supplies.
Oh, okay.
Very inexpensive. I'd give them to the hospital, and then they keep the rest for patients.
Oh, wow.
I also had surgery. They also didn't charge me for that, and I got better. So they did say they do have some good healthcare here.
That's amazing.
that.
Yeah, that is completely unheard of in the United States. You would just be kicked to the side. Wow, that is wild, man.
Well, when I went to the health clinic, they have different ways to classify the patients. So it's like if you're a citizen or if you're in a different category, and I was documented in the refugee migrant category.
Oh, okay.
But because I'm from the States, and I look the way I do, right? I look like you, kind of like
Right.
more like you than most people here, right?
Sure, yeah.
There's a stigma and there's this idea that you have money, but once they find out about you,
Right.
then they treat you differently. And what ended up happening is,
Interesting, yeah.
first day I went in, I told them who I was and what my situation was, and I told them I had a video of me giving a workshop in Barcelona, Spain, and so they looked it up,
Wow.
and then they watched it, and they said, "Oh, okay, we got you." And then they treated me without any questions at all for the next 30 days.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense. I totally understand that. There's currently a lot of like anti American immigration into Mexico right now. Correct? Not to get like political or anything, but I noticed there's a lot of protests going on in Mexico City against the tourists and.
So it has to do with the fact that there's large, I don't know how many, but probably thousands and thousands of people from the States who
Right.
who had money. They had money.
Right.
And then they moved to different neighborhoods in Mexico City. And those neighborhoods became extremely gentrified. And
Right.
it's almost like they almost set up these English speaking zones, and they forced out
Wow.
people. And they're not necessarily contributing to the communities. They're doing
Right.
digital nomad work. So
Right.
people they're angry, and we all understand why. We understand their
Sure.
anger.
Yeah.
I don't live there. I live far from there, but I do try to contribute to the local community. Everyone here, not everyone, but like I have lots of connections all over this place
Yeah.
from people in the community, and so I'm not one of them, but I'm from there, so like it's
Right.
easy to identify me as. But yeah, there's a lot of anger,
Yeah.
and the way that the people who are Mexican who are being harmed in the United States right now,
Right.
that also contributes a lot, and
Right.
it feels a little
I get that. Yeah.
I don't want to say paranoid, but like there is an anger, and so like generally speaking, I forget that I look different. I think I'm like everyone else because we're all people,
Right.
but I know we're different. So sometimes I get a little nervous, or inside my head at least. But
Yeah.
I keep trying to do my best.
For sure. That's all we can do, right? If you don't mind me asking, are you Mexican by ethnicity?
My family is Eastern European Jewish,
Okay.
and by some maybe strange reality, or who knows, because I don't really know who my parents are. I mean, they
Yeah.
allegedly raised me and gave birth to me, but
Right.
I don't look like them.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I have, by the grace of the heavens, I have a slightly olive skin,
You do, yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone else is like super, super like pasty white, and so. It is possible to be born in a different country but be Mexican in your heart.
For sure.
That is the
Hey,
thing that
I'm from Los Angeles, brother. I get it.
Yeah. So, I feel like this is home.
Yeah.
My landlady, she told me that I was just another son.
Oh,
that
nice.
Her whole family lives here. There's like 30 of them in our little alley, driveway here. And they all treat me like family, and
Nice.
like I've witnessed 4 or 5 children being born. I mean, I didn't actually witness the birth, but like
Right.
I like witnessed the
Oh,
mothers
wow.
being pregnant, and then I've seen the babies. Like,
Yeah.
and
Very
so there's like children here who have known me their entire life.
Right. Yeah. Very cool.
I'm just think they're weird, so slightly weird, rock and
Right.
roll.
Right. Yeah.
Uncle who speaks differently and looks differently. That's just all I am to them. So.
Sure. I imagine there's is there punk rock in that small town, or do you ever get out to shows? Or?
There's not really much punk rock in this town.
Yeah.
But like if you came to my town and you asked anybody, especially near the center, say, "Hey, has anyone seen the punk rock bureau?" with the black clothes. That means like, have anyone seen the white guy with the black clothes?
Right.
Punk rocker with the black clothes. They'll say, "Oh yeah, he was there today," or "I saw him yesterday. He lives over
That's
there."
funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm easy to find away. Yeah,
For sure.
for real.
Yeah. Yeah. But Mexico City has a lot of punks, right? Like,
One of the biggest consumes in the world.
right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I remember seeing a thing on the internet where it was like in 2001 or 2005 or I think 2001 where like a lot of emo people had gathered protesting to be treated more fairly by the populace at large in Mexico City, and then a bunch of punks showed up and were like trying to fight them, and then the police were like protecting the emo people, and then a group of Hare Krishnas showed up and everybody just like dispersed after that. I always thought that was maybe Eddie, editor, if you can throw in a clip of that, if you can find it. It was a little comical, but
I'm gonna look that up because that was a little bit before my time.
yeah,
But this is a complicated place.
of course, yeah,
Very complicated here. It's different than the United States.
right, right.
A lot of ways.
What stands out the most
So-
in the difference? Like I've been to Rosarito twice. That's my only experience in Mexico itself. You know, other than like growing up in Los Angeles and all my friends and stuff. But
That's what it's like. That's like 2 hours. Well, you're in Los Angeles, so it's like Rosarito is like an hour and a half south of the border to Tijuana, right? Something like that.
something like that. Yeah. Well, I'm in Phoenix now, but yeah. When I lived in LA,
Here in
yeah,
Phoenix.
yeah,
So you know how right now in the United States, it's sort of like the facade is disappearing about the life that we all live there.
right,
You know, it's like becoming obvious now that there's a lot of problems, and it's affecting everybody now. And you asking like, what's the big difference, right? Here in Mexico, everyone knows that there's no justice.
right,
Everyone knows that corruption and just this stuff's real. Everyone knows that. I hate to say it because it's really bothering me right now, but the value of life is less here.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. That is unfortunate for sure.
Yeah, people just sort of say, okay, or they don't. I don't want to say it like people aren't living with the delusion that things are different than they are.
Right.
But in the United States, up until somewhat recently,
Yeah.
a lot of people there have lived with this, have accepted this illusion that everything's okay. Everything's okay. There are things happening, but we're okay. And
Right.
I think you're all finding out that facade cracked.
For sure.
It's happened in front of all of you. You're all watching it on the news. You're seeing it on the streets. That's the biggest difference that I can tell you. That here, everyone
Yeah.
knows.
It's a very good point.
They understand it. So if someone says, "This person did that to me," or "I have this problem with the authorities," say, "Oh, yeah, sure, I believe you."
Right, 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 for sure.
Or like, listen to me. No, you're crazy. You're this. You're that. Political. No. Just hear my story, right?
Okay. Well,
Now, finally, to the border, people are coming to face the fact that it's the same.
right.
So that's the biggest difference. You know
I
what
see.
mean?
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. No. That's a really good point. The last question that I would like to ask about that, and then we should get back to your life story here. In the States right now, it seems like there's a lot of hopelessness coming from the left, right? A lot of people feel like there's nothing they can do, and just a lot of general despair. And I don't think despair has any place in a revolution. Like you should always turn that into action to create change. But so many people just seem defeated. Like there's the phrase that Gen Z uses, "we're cooked," or whatever. Like we're just totally fucked as a system, as a country, as a people. In Mexico, is it similar to that, or is there more like hope? Would you say, or maybe I can't think of the right word. Maybe like a more optimistic way, or not optimistic, but like I don't know. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Let me think.
Yeah. I guess I ask because, like, the Mexican people are known, like, for their rich culture, for their laughter. That Mexican people I grew up with, have known my whole life, has always been so quick to laugh at, like, absurd situations and be very, very fearless.
So I detest the concept of resiliency, because resiliency at its core means that as a person can experience horrifically terrible things and then bounce back. And so we'll say, they're so resilient.
Right.
That's not a really nice thing to say.
Oh,
That's a horrible thing to say to somebody.
okay.
They're so resilient because you then take all their experiences, all the brutalities they've experienced into one word and say, you're great, you're resilient. So the reason why I say that, that Mexicans are incredibly resilient.
Right.
In fact, they're much more resilient, it seems, than people north of the border in regards to your question. Now, the people north of the border, they will come to terms with the fact that resiliency is something that is within them, and then they can find their way out of that hopelessness and despair by transforming their journey into something that allows them to be fulfilled again, but the things that make them happy, in defiance of the oppression and the hatred and the danger.
Right.
So I can relate with the despair that people will be feeling there. I also feel despair here about my own situation sometimes.
Right.
Or often recently, because it's been hard.
Right.
But
Only natural. Yeah.
here's the thing, that it's a little bit easier to get by here if you have nothing. If you are hungry, you will be able to get fed. Ultimately, people are someone's gonna help you in some way, usually, because people sort of get it. But for the people north of the border, try to remember that you may not have had the need to have to fight in certain ways to stand up for yourself and your families and your loved ones and your community members in the past, but now you might have to do that. And if you don't have experience with doing that, you haven't had to do it your whole life, like a lot of people around the world have had to. We haven't, up to the border. Not in the way that other people have to. But it's a learning curve. And part of the revolution that we all have to live is accepting that when you fight for a better life, sometimes you lose.
Right.
When you fight for justice, sometimes you lose. When you fight to fix everything, sometimes you die. Sometimes you just lose. And the thing about Mexico is that the people here don't consider when your body stops functioning or breathing is the end of your life.
Right.
You just go into a different life. And that's part of the rich culture that you're talking about, because north of the border, we don't really have that.
True.
So that's part of the fear.
Yeah.
So it's easier here to be up with it. But I'm a foreigner, so I'm like, I don't like that. But I also don't like it north of the border, so...
All right. Sure, yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you for that wisdom there. Okay, well, let's go back to you here. My next questions are going to be, how did you get into punk rock? What led to you wanting to get sober? And how did spirituality play a part in that? So you can answer that in any order that you want.
The day I was put into a hospital, as I shared in the first segment, for false reasons, right?
Right.
I met a punk rocker that day.
Okay.
The very first day. We had our Sony Walkman, if you recall what I'm talking about, like our cassette players.
Yeah, right. Yeah, old school. How old were you?
14.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
And so it was April 1988, and the first day in that facility, I saw a girl wearing all black clothing and like earrings and all that sorts of stuff, and rings and crazy stuff. And I knew she was a punk rocker. Yeah. Because I had previously watched Another State of Mind. In the 80s, they had on cable TV and WTBS, they had the Night Flight on Saturdays. They'd always play like classic cult movies, including Another State of Mind. So when I saw that woman, I said, "Oh, she's a punk rocker." I can tell. And so we talked. She lent me to cassettes to listen to, the Black Flag and the Kennedys.
Oh,
And so
perfect.
that's my first introduction.
Nice.
That was actually April of 1988. And then
Perfect.
the second question was, how did I become sober? Well, I don't drink because alcohol makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Even fermented drinks makes me feel gross. I don't drink alcohol at all. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. But I also don't like being around drunk people
Right.
because like,
It's annoying.
I don't want to anyways.
Yeah.
But we can talk about sobriety and in the way that I took psych drugs for all those years, and then I stopped, and so I'm not on those drugs anymore.
Right.
So I am sober
Gotcha. Okay.
from pharmaceutical drugs that impacted my how I say it, my psychological state.
Right.
And third question, what was your third question? Sorry.
How did spirituality play a role in your recovery?
I'd say it's one of the only things I have.
Sure. So since you were raised in a Zionist household, so I imagine that was
Yeah.
pretty. Is Zionist would that be? I know Orthodox is different. Was it a very strict, like, by the book, like Talmud or?
Okay, so Zionism and Judaism are two
Sure.
completely different things.
Sure, sure.
And Zionism, Judaism, being Israeli are three different things completely.
For sure, yeah.
Zionism is a political ideology.
Right, right.
It's got nothing to do with Jewish people. It's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, gotcha.
But my parents were believers in these ideas. The Jewish religious stuff is a big part of the American Jewish movement,
Right.
and the American Jewish movement is mostly Zionist. As far as I know, I'm not part of it, right?
Right, right.
But growing up like that, so there's a big difference between being religious and being spiritual.
Yeah.
I am not a religious person. I don't care at all. Spirituality, on the other hand, is something beautiful because you don't have to attribute what you believe or what you think to any sort of organized religion or anything like
Right,
that.
right.
Because what I think at the core of most religions is like this idea that you can be a certain way and that you want to ascend to something.
Right.
So when people say God or whatever they're talking about, they're still talking about the same things that I'm talking about. I'm just not attributing my
Okay.
reality and what makes me feel safe and secure in this world.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
knowing that the mountain right there and the water and the plants and the air and the trees and that all of that is my God.
Right.
All of that is my belief structure. But what do people who are religious believe? They say that mountain, that water, those trees, but they call it God. And then they go to church and they do their thing. But it's all the same thing.
Right.
Just that religion is law. Rules
Right.
are in place to control. That's what it's all about. And I don't need any of that. So I don't have anything to do with it. My spirituality is that I wake up in the morning and I say a little prayer of gratitude. I'm grateful for every moment that I have. I try to learn from my experiences. I try to remember that when I'm in pain, I mean, I'm hurting right now. I have a lot going on. When I'm in pain, I need to remember that this cat loves me.
Right.
He's sleeping right now.
There you go.
He found me. He made me his person.
Oh, that's
Like,
the best. Yeah.
I tried to make him go away, but he wouldn't.
Nice.
Like I can go outside and I can smell my flowers, and that's life.
Right.
I can breathe. I can like look at the hummingbirds and the butterflies and say, "Oh, that's beautiful, right?" And then I can have beautiful moments, and I can feel beautiful things, and that has nothing to do with religion.
Right.
So my everyday is that.
Okay.
That's what keeps me going.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. So that the prayer that you say first thing in the morning. So that's not like directed at a name or like
Okay, so
a god. It to me it sounds like, if I can just sort of like, I don't know, summarize it so I can understand it, not to simplify what you're saying, but it's like you believe in the God of the experiential moment, like everything that's inside you and outside of you, that whole, like people call it like the universe or whatever when they don't want to use the word God, like or even Mother Earth. You know, like I like that, man. I've never heard anybody talk about it that way. So it's sort of like Buddhist in a sense.
The reason why I'm smiling,
Yeah.
like I get ear to ear right now, is because the question you asked me is something that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's really hard for me to talk about because I don't want people to be confused by me.
Hmm.
They already are. I get like I love this question. So here, oh, I'm so ready.
Okay. Awesome.
The answer is, and I always want to tell people this, but I never did.
Yeah.
Here's the answer to your question. What is my prayer? And I'll tell you, it's the same. I make this prayer all day long. So if like,
Yeah.
there's people in this town, they'll see this black flat punk rocker at the Mercado or eating food
Right.
at some little stall. I always do my little prayer first. People know that about me. They know that. They've seen me do it. I know hundreds of people who have witnessed me doing that because people come up to me sometimes about it. Here's my prayer. It's so cool. I'm so grateful. 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 Please help me make myself the best person I can be.
Nice. That is beautiful, man. Yeah, that's a very intelligent and healthy way to approach life for sure. And I could definitely see that contributing to healing, psychologically, physically, for sure. That's great, man.
Oh, God. I wanted to tell someone. I thank you so much for asking me that because
Yeah.
it's great to talk about. It's like, how do you tell people that like something's so beautiful? Like
Hmm.
look at my eyes. Like I'm tearing up. Like
Yeah, no, well,
thank you so much.
yeah, of course. No, I
Yeah.
get it, man. I have to remind myself to be grateful all the time. You know, I'm a single father with an autistic boy, and sometimes it gets pretty heavy. And it's like, this is whatever it was. It was God, it was the universe, my choices. Everything has led to the point where, like, I look at this child and he looks back at me with just infinite love in his eyes, unlike any other love I've ever experienced. So it's like, everybody needs to remind themselves, like, you're alive, you're gonna eat some food, you're inside. There's a million ways to be grateful, like, every moment.
I was so broken.
Yeah.
I mean, I was broken in a way that, I mean, you see me smiling. Okay, so I was smiling right now because I know who I am. I know what happened to me.
Hmm.
I know the process I'm going through right now. I know what I'm trying to accomplish. I know what I'm doing. I know all of it. And so, like when you talk about healing and from pain, I'm smiling when I say I've been so broken. Why am I smiling? I know.
Hmm.
I know what happened. I know what I'm going through.
Right.
But this smile is like power. Like I'm
Sure.
smiling.
Yeah.
I had little tears in my eyes because I'm happy because I just got to tell somebody for the first time
Oh,
and
wow.
in English, right? Because I can't speak Spanish really well, but I speak English okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. And about you for a second, what
Yeah.
you just shared, that's hard, bro. Like, and it's hard to come to terms with life being so difficult and unfair. But then when you find something that fulfills you,
Hmm.
that helps you be okay, it gives you something to hold on to that makes you want to be better for you. This infinite power in that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you said you were going to try to think about how to like implement that idea of gratitude
Yeah.
in your life more. Can I give you a tiny tip on how you can do that?
Sure. Yeah. Please. Yeah.
So you have a daily schedule
Hmm.
that generally just happens. Like you wake up, right?
Right.
So what's the first thing you can do before you pick up your phone, right? Before you
Right.
reach over to the thing and look at it, you just wake up. You can just say, close your eyes and take that moment and grateful. Like let those words go through your brain
Mm.
or say them out loud or whatever. And then as you eat your breakfast or you eat your lunch
Hmm.
or you just whatever you do, you're walking, you smell a flower, you can have that schedule, that like schedule that doesn't have a time to it,
Hmm.
but it just is what you do during your day,
Right.
lunch, dinner, whatever, waking up. And you can just take that 10 seconds and just say your little prayer of gratitude. Then you can give yourself power and you can help yourself through it. And it does work, actually. It's not about
Yeah.
religion, it's about you.
Right.
It's about you and connecting with makes you and gives you power and helps you be the best you can be. You don't need the religion. I mean, we don't need the religion, but we need the spirituality.
Right. One
So
hundred
yeah,
percent. Yeah.
good,
That's awesome,
good for
man.
you.
I like that. I believe I will start doing that. I wake up pretty agitated sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah,
please do. That makes me feel great.
sure. Yeah,
Please do that. Please, like in 2 months from now, 1 month from now, tell me if you feel better. But tell me,
yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
let me know.
No,
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that a lot, and let me just thank you for being so open with everything that you just shared. That takes a lot of bravery, man, and I really appreciate that. The honesty, and there's a lot of wisdom there. You're clearly a man who has been through a lot, you know, and there is a glow about you. That was one of the first things I noticed when we started. I can see
Yeah.
the goodness behind your eyes, and yeah, man. And I understand you're struggling right now, but that's just kind of a part of life, right? As long as you
Yeah.
remain grateful
Listen,
for the life, like, for sure. Okay.
being alive is magical,
It is.
and
Yeah.
we all have so much beauty inside us, and the life and the experiences we have can really beat us down, but we can still find our way. We can still rise up.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Words of wisdom, my friend.
Thank you for seeing. Thank you for seeing me.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. So we'll wrap up soon. Before we do, man, I mean, you definitely got to come back on another time. You're more than welcome. So we want to learn more about you and stuff. Let me ask you: are you into stand up comedy at all?
I love Dave Chappelle.
Nice. Of course, one of the best.
I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now, bitch, because you ruined my fucking life.
And I love Cat Williams.
Oh yeah, underrated. One of the best for sure.
Yeah, because those guys are funny and they're also telling the truth,
Yeah.
and they're also doing it in a way that got them in trouble, and they survived it, and they are honest about it. And there's almost nothing more powerful in this world than standing up in front of a bunch of people,
Yeah.
knowing you've been targeted, knowing that people are saying bad things about, knowing that there's huge, powerful entities trying to silence you,
Right.
but smiling,
Sure. Yeah.
calling it out, knowing that tomorrow could be your last day because of it,
Right.
and you keep going.
Sure.
The reason why I love those guys so much and people like them
Yeah.
is because they're brave, they're courageous,
Very. Yeah.
and they're speaking from their heart. So yeah, I love those guys. I love anyone who speaks up and takes a risk for the betterment of our society. And those
For
guys
sure.
are doing it. Respect to them.
Definitely. Definitely. So so I know you host workshops and stuff. So that involves a lot of public speaking, right? Um,
Yeah, I actually have a really good sense of humor. And
Yeah.
one funny thing,
I can tell.
I
Yeah.
don't want to like, I don't want to say that about myself. I have a, I just know that I do. Okay, and
It's
probably like,
obvious.
so I
Yeah.
live in Maine.
Yeah.
So like my Spanish is really bad, but you know that you know that you are a funny person, like that you are a comedian, if you will. When you communicate humor
Right.
in a second language that you don't really
For sure.
speak,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're speaking to people who only speak one language,
Right.
and like it's your second language that you don't really speak, when you can get them to laugh, even with your bad Spanish or you're like you don't speak the language properly, that's when you know that you have something. And so yeah,
For sure.
I've been very fortunate to transcend so many things and continue to just give.
Yeah.
I just gave a presentation this past 2 days ago,
Right. On the.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I
2 days
asked
ago.
a
Oh
woman
wow.
who was in Puebla 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
And I asked my amiga, I said, "Did you understand what I said?"
Yeah.
She said, "Maybe 40%." I was like, "That's great,
That's
because you
pretty
speak
good.
20." Like, wow.
Right.
Like, she like sort of. I was like,
Right.
cool. Like, but you could tell I was like speaking passionately, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, doing
are your workshops in Spanish or English or both or?
well. I definitely need a translator. So if I'm actually doing a
Oh, okay.
workshop, like I have workshops coming on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday of this week in different cities, and I will have a translator at those events.
Okay.
Because I can't do it properly in Spanish.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like sometimes it's hard to get a translator, so you just gotta have to work with it. So usually someone in the audience might help me if necessary, if something's not organized. But
Right.
this past Saturday, there was no translator, and I was just giving like a 50-minute speech before a bunch of bands were playing.
Oh wow.
I just said fuck it, and I did it. And that's what I did. I
That's
can send you
awesome.
some videos. I have videos. That's
Oh,
what I
okay,
did.
yeah.
And then the week before, I went to another city, called Tlaxcala. It's actually the smallest state in Mexico.
Okay.
And we didn't have a translator there. But then someone who was there is from Argentina, and he spoke English, and so he translated for me. But what ended up happening is that he got so excited that he sort of just took over, and I didn't realize it until afterwards, but I sort of suspected it. But I think he was sniffing something.
Oh, oh no.
because I stayed in his house that night to sleep, and then I saw him doing it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that explains why he was talking so fast. The whole
Right.
thing. I was like, there's a video of me. I don't have it, but I saw it of me at that event. I just looked at the person who was videoing, and I said, this is crazy.
Right.
Like, just this guy do his thing. So that is what happened.
That's
so I didn't have
wild,
a translator. I have Argentina who spoke English. He kind of was helping me, but then he just kind of took over. He was going to
Right,
I basically was there. I just smiled. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's his life. That's pretty ironic. Oh, wow.
But then we ended up hanging out that night. We spent a lot of hours talking. So I got to know him a little bit, and we have a lot of him. How beautiful is that?
Nice. That is cool. Yeah. Really cool. If you have like video of you speaking at the workshops, we can include it in the episode, so maybe people can get an idea or whatever. We definitely have a lot of Spanish speakers who follow the podcast.
Buenas tardes, mis compañeros. Hablo español muy mal.
Right.
Yo no hablo español bien, pero hablo español correctamente. So I sort of speak Spanish colloquially.
Yeah.
So you can understand me.
I understood all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, right before we end here, do you want to tell people where they can follow you on social media, how to order your books, attend your workshops?
So let me show you. This is Your Crazy Volume 3. This is Your Crazy Volume 2.
Oh, okay.
These are anthologies. It says first-hand accounts of surviving trauma, addiction, and mental health from the punk scene. I have 3 volumes. Then this is the book, The Guide to Survive the Impossible. It's a workbook for people like me, and perhaps people like you, and perhaps people who are watching. It was chewed on by my cat. Her name is Gatita Meridos. Somebody killed her. It's really screwed up.
Sorry to hear that,
It's
awful.
I always hold on to this because it's like the only thing I have, right?
For sure, yeah, I get it.
My cat now is my new cat.
Yeah.
His name is Gato Negro, black cat.
Right.
The cat who eat this, Gatito Meridos, kitten number 2. So I named the name childhood. So
yeah.
This is the book in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Guia.
Oh, cool.
This is the harm reduction guide for psychological trauma survivors. This is the Better Days mental health recovery workbook.
Okay.
This is also in Spanish. It's called Mejores Dias.
Yeah.
And this is the original peer support recovery and coping skills workbook and curriculum.
Okay.
And my website is called sanityisafulltimejob.org. And so if you go to sanityisafulltimejob.org and you click on books,
Okay.
you find everything there. So go there, and you can also send me an email at survivingtheimpossible@gmail.com.
All right.
And I'm just trying to figure out and fix all my social media stuff because I've had a lot of challenges. It makes it hard. So find me.
Yes.
My website. Email me. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Everybody, definitely. If you're in need help in any way, definitely go to where he said. This guy's obviously a very wise, beautiful soul. So again, let me just thank you for coming back on. Please feel free to come back on anytime. I really appreciate your words and wisdom. We'll end it right here. Thank you so much for listening to Let's Ruin Our Lives. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. Please, for the love of God, subscribe on YouTube. I have a kid to think about here, people. Okay, anyway.
Subscribe.
Yeah. And all right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your life and see you next time. Mahalo.
Yes, everyone have a great rest of your lives starting this very moment.
That's right. Peace.
Thank you so much, brother. Peace.
heaven and sighted in hell.